I'm Susan Roberti, and welcome to Let's Talk Tail Waggers. I have a special show today. It's sweet and kind, and it's what little doggies are all about, sweet and kind. BPTV's all volunteers, and we need them. So if you would like to do a show or come up and do camera work or just come up and see us, you might find something that you would like to do. But please, don't be afraid to come up and do a show. I've been doing them for over 25 years, and it's always lots of fun. Mm-hmm. So if you have something you like to do, bake cakes or do cars or whatever, come up and see Dave Cable, and he'll make it happen. Mm-hmm. So today we have your name,
Mariah.
And what's the baby's name?
Plato.
Oh, I love it. Yours?
Maureen.
And the baby, Larry.
Larry.
We have to hear about Larry. How did Larry get his name?
Well, Larry got his name when we got him. My son named him.
Aww.
And he wanted to name him Larry for reasons of SpongeBob SquarePants series.
I love it.
And there was a snail named Larry, so
Aww.
and we just thought it worked, and it does. So
yeah, it's crazy how people get names and crazy names. Mm-hmm. And how did you get your baby's name?
So I found Plato on the highway.
Yes, this is a good story.
Yes. And my lovely fiance said, well, you pick the dog. I get to pick the name.
Oh.
And I said, well, he technically picked me. So, but him and his father always loved philosophers. And so Plato just felt like the perfect name. He thought about Leonidas and Aristotle, but we thought those names seemed like a little bit of a bigger dog.
Yeah,
It's like, he does look like a Plato to me.
That's a nice name.
He's our Plato.
Yeah. And what about little Stinker down there? How did he get his name?
Well, my son named him. When we got him at Ace Hardware on Green Tree Road.
Oh,
my friend is the manager there, and she asked me if I knew anybody that wanted puppies, and I said, no way, no how, I'm not getting a puppy. Mm-hmm. And then I went into the store to buy something, and the puppies were there. You were there, and that was the end of it.
The oldest story in the land.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
I know in my heart of hearts that there's a dog for everybody. Mm-hmm. And when you went in there, it was just, that was it.
Mm-hmm. True. I mean, absolutely true. We had a puppy together for 14 years.
Aww.
And I swore I'd never get another dog again and thought that window was closed. But he's really just brought so much joy into our house. And actually, Mariah got Plato first in San Antonio. Mm-hmm. And I went to visit and just loved having him around. And then he would come home with her. So it was just, when I saw Larry, I was like, that's the piece that's missing. So
Yeah. If you've had dogs, I don't have any right now because I'm old. And believe me, it's hard when you're old to take them out and walk them, and my legs are not good. So now I have kitties.
Aww.
That's why God made fish, kitties, and dogs, so that each age you can have something.
I love that.
Yeah,
Aww.
but I wish I always had 2 or 3 of them, and they were just so much fun. Mm-hmm. They really are. Now, do you take them out every day and walk them?
Mm-hmm. We do.
Do you?
And let them out on leads outside of the house. And then when my fiance and I lived in San Antonio with him, we would walk him. He's like, I want the treat. Give it to me. Come get your treat. So nice. We would walk him around our apartment complex every day and take him to the dog park. So well spoiled, both of them are for sure.
Aww. Now, what about the heat? You don't walk them on the road?
No, especially not in Texas. It got too hot, so we'd walk him really early in the morning or in the evening, and then keep him on grassy areas, and then hear similar things.
Common sense. Mm-hmm. I live on a big circle. And I sit on my porch and watch these people walking these dogs on the road. at noon.
Yeah, it's too
I don't
hot.
dare say a word because, I don't want them to hate me.
Oh.
But it's common sense.
Yeah, you really have to be conscious of their paw pads.
Yeah.
I mean, with that heat, you wouldn't walk out there with bare feet. So why would you take the dog out?
Exactly. And that's what I want to say to them. Take your shoes off.
Yep. See how it feels for you.
Because their excuse is, oh, well, they're made for that. No, they're not.
No.
Their little feet hurt just as
do.
bad as yours do.
And they can blister like ours too. So
Yeah,
gotta
see?
take care of them.
Yeah. Larry actually got a little paw infection about a month ago from between the heat and going to the dog park. So he was on a 2-week restriction from dog parking. So,
Oh.
so yes.
Now, what does Dad think about them?
What does Dad think about them?
Yeah.
He loves them. When I brought Larry home, he didn't have a name then. He fit in the palm of my hand. And I went to the hardware store and I saw him and I said, can I take him on a field trip? She said, you could take him wherever you want. And I took him home and my husband held him and he had one little tear come down his cheek and he goes, you know, we have to get this dog. And they are, he'll complain about him because Larry's a barker. He's a very
They
verbal.
always are, the little ones.
He thinks that
They have the short man syndrome.
Yes, they
he
do.
does
Napoleon.
have that. He does have Napoleon syndrome. I say that all the time. Or he thinks that everyone walking by the house is an assassin trying to kill me. So he will protect me at all costs.
Oh,
but yeah,
how sweet.
he is very verbal. So we get a little. Gets a little much, but he does. He loves him. He takes him to the DP, we'll say, because I can't say that word too many times without us actually going. So
And that's another thing. They do know what you're saying.
They do. All the time.
absolutely.
I didn't dare
There.
say.
Yeah.
Yep. Gotta watch out.
Can't say the O
Yeah.
word.
TREATWALK.
Yeah, and then it got to be you couldn't say oh
Oh,
because they figured that one out. They're amazing.
they
and
are.
The love that they give you is there's nothing like it in the world.
Oh, absolutely. It's so unconditional and it never runs out. And no matter what, Larry got into a tad bit of trouble on our way here because
Exciting news.
exciting news. Well, it's daily news for Larry. But I told him, gave him the command to go to the car, which he did. He went directly to the car off lead. And when he got to the car, he noticed a neighbor walking 3 dogs. So he decided to greet them on the street about 4 houses away and warn them that they were approaching his house. So he got into a little bit of trouble and he got right in the car because that's what I told him to do. And he sat there and he waited. And I gave him the stink eye and he knows what that means.
Yeah, isn't
So,
that amazing?
so then when we got out of the car to get in here, he gave me a
Is
little
he-
kiss.
Is he jealous?
He
Oh,
is very jealous, yeah. He doesn't, I mean, Plato's living with us for the summer and they're buddies, but Larry's a little territorial and he bullies Plato sometimes.
Poor Plato just takes it too. He's
He
like,
does.
I
He's
bet.
so good.
Oh,
And
I bet.
we have toys because Plato's a little older than Larry. We have a toy that we've had since Plato came around that Larry likes to steal from Plato. And I tell him all the time that was Plato's first.
Troublemaker, troublemaker.
Right.
adorable
But
little
like you're saying, they're super smart. Like
They
I'll
are.
tell him to go get his cocoa and he'll run over and get his rubber cocoa cup, or Bunny's the one they fight over. But they do. You tell them to go get it and they go find it.
I had a gentleman that had a floor full of toys. And he'd say, go get the watermelon, go get the, and that's where, that's what he went and got. It's true. They are very, very smart
They are.
and very jealous little creatures.
Yes, they can be, but they make up so fast too.
I
It's like
know.
geese when they fight, and then they're
Yeah,
like,
it's
"Okay, we're
love
good
and
now,"
forgive. Yeah.
and then they're good.
Yeah, but they're super
So you're
smart and
just-
they know they're best friends.
You're just visiting Mom.
Yep. So my fiance and I are getting married in 3 weeks.
Oh,
Yay! So we moved home from San Antonio for the summer, and then we're moving to Baltimore after we get married. So
Oh.
we're here, got a full house, but wouldn't have it any other way. So,
What about the snow and the cold?
so we both lived in Pennsylvania forever. I'm from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Grew up, born and raised in the same house we're living in now.
Yeah, okay.
So we're both used to it, and honestly, kind of miss it. It's been like 109 plus in San Antonio this whole summer. So they haven't had a day that didn't hit 100 in a couple weeks.
Everybody says
yeah.
how beautiful it is here, beautiful.
It's beautiful
And I've
here.
gone there and come back. And they even have the same weeds, you know,
They
like
do.
West Virginia, Mountain Mama, and all that. And you go there, and it's. and I keep, well, when are we going to leave home? When are we going to leave home?
Uh-huh.
You know, Pennsylvania's beautiful.
It's beautiful
Just
here.
beautiful.
Being so silly.
Except for the snow. I hate the snow.
See, I like looking at the snow from inside when I'm all under a blanket and cozy and it's just falling outside. When I have to clean my car off is when I do not like snow at all.
hear you.
That's the worst.
Now,
Like I
do
could
they
deal with
play
the
in the snow?
They
love the
the snow.
little snow bunnies. They are snow bunnies
he
for sure.
does, the little one.
They do. He hops around. It's so funny. And actually, the first time that I went to Texas was in February a few years ago when they moved. And it snowed in Texas for the first time in 100 years.
She brought it with her.
Yeah.
It was 3 inches of snow that shut the city down for 10 days.
Yep.
And yeah, it was crazy. We took Plato for a walk, and it was so cute because he didn't know what it was. And so to watch him exploring that, and the people around the city, I guess, heard the concept of snowmen. So they were building snowmen, but it was really funny because the snowmen were like this big.
Yeah.
Like they didn't. So there were all these different little snowmen. And then when Larry came around, we got him in October. He just had his 2nd birthday last week. And we got him in October of that year. And so when the snow came around, he was very little, and I didn't know what he would do, but he like burrows in it and rolls around and jumps. And
Yeah.
he really enjoys it.
He's not afraid.
No, he's not. And he's a walker. He could walk for hours. I know he's tiny, but he can walk for literal hours in rain, snow, sleet, hail. He doesn't care. He wants his walk.
Well, he's nippy.
Yes, you got
Yeah.
to know what's going on in the city.
He has to make sure no one's out there
Boy,
trying to get me.
He's
I
the only-
remember that with my dogs. And I had 3 of them. And they were as good as gold until somebody came in the yard, and
Oh,
then
gosh.
one would bark, and then and it was like, oh, please, guys, don't do this to me.
Well, it's funny because Plato was not much of a barker except for squirrels. He does not like squirrels.
Public enemy number 1.
Someone taught him because the squirrels in their apartment would raid their bird feeder
on
So
their
he-
balcony.
So he does not like squirrels. So he has more of a howly bark, and Larry has a more yappy bark,
Yeah.
So it's funny to hear the two of them together. They kind of sing a little song.
Innocent. I'm innocent.
Are you innocent?
Yes.
Are you innocent? You are. High five to mommy. There you go.
God.
Such a good one.
High five to mommy. Can you high five to grandma? High five to grandma.
Look, Mom, now.
Okay, can you salute? Oh, that's a good salute. Yes, it is.
Aw.
You can salute. Now you need to sit. Sit, please.
You just
Thank you,
spend
Sid.
time with them, and they just grow.
Mm-hmm.
They really do. You can always tell when dogs, people have paid attention to them, and dogs that not, because they're just so attentive to you and everything that you say.
Just a little bit food motivated.
They are.
Well,
Yeah, they don't ever get this many treats, but
Oh.
today's an extra special day.
yes,
So
yes.
they do. And really, I mean, we do take them everywhere. That's the one thing, I grew up with your dog stays at home. And, we didn't, because that was the times, right? And when we had our other dog, we took them a few places, but these two go absolutely everywhere.
Well, they like to go bye-byes. You're lucky. Some dogs don't.
No, they love to go for a ride in the car. And my father is 91 and just got his first apartment.
Oh,
So Mariah and I took Larry there. Plato was on vacation at his other grandma's. So we took Larry there, and my dad wasn't in the apartment, but Larry knew because he could smell him. And so he was going crazy because he could smell him, but he couldn't find him. So the next time I took him there, he took me right to the doorway. Like he had been there one
been
time, and he
100.
knew exactly what
He knew.
apartment he was in.
yeah.
So
We had a Cocker Spaniel when I was little, and her name was Goldie because she was gold. It was my dad's dog. And if you can, we lived out here. I was born on Logan Road, so I have been here all my life. But if you come and it was all farms, moo cows, moo cows, moo cows, moo cows. And if people came to visit, and if they didn't come back to visit for 10 years, she knew.
Aww.
She never forgot a person. They'd pull in the driveway, and she was there to greet them. And that's the
Aw.
way they are.
They're
know-
very, very smart, and they remember a lot.
And they make
do.
you feel better when you don't feel good, when you're sick.
They do.
Oh, they know.
That's just not me. That's the way they do.
Absolutely.
They-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they know when you don't feel good.
Yeah, I had a little surgery last April, and Larry laid across my belly the entire 2 weeks
See?
I was recovering. He just every time I got up, he'd just look and see if I needed anything, and
Aw.
he was like the perfect little heating pad. He would just
Aw,
lay there. And,
was you loving your mom?
Mhm, absolutely.
He is so dear.
Yeah,
And you got him at the hardware store.
yes, Green Tree Hardware. That's what I
Oh
say.
my God! And you got him off the road.
Yep, he's the San Antonio special. We had not even lived in San Antonio 2 full weeks, and I'm driving down a highway, and I see him running back and forth across 4 lanes of traffic, and I almost hit him. I swerved around him, and I saw one of the turnarounds, and I'm like, I'm gonna think about that dog all day if I don't go back there and just see if he has a collar, see if he's okay. And so I found him in an apartment complex running around. And so I'd seen people walking, and I'm like, hey, do you recognize this dog? Is this someone's dog that lives here? I'm really worried for him. He's on the road. They're like, no, I don't recognize that dog at all. So it took me an hour to catch him. And I'm luring him in so that we had to drive through
Well,
Safari.
it took him that long to settle.
Oh, yes. So finally caught him, put him in my car, and I look at him, and I'm like, what do I do now? I don't know what
And
to do
he
now.
didn't mind.
Nope. I have pictures of him, just this giant smile on his face, ears all the way up, so happy. And so I took him to a shelter that was there locally, and had him scanned for a chip. He didn't have any. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I just moved here. I don't know if someone owns this dog. Like, I don't know what to do. They're like, well, we can put him on stray search for 4 days where they look for any owners
right.
to come claim them. And I cried for 4 days straight. So I was like, Cedar, my fiance's name is Cedar. I'm like, I think that's supposed to be our dog, though.
Well, certainly.
Oh, yeah. So after 4 days, we went back, and an angel had paid the fee for us. They had a thing that you could adopt, and it was my mom, which was super sweet. I
That's
found out
Mom.
later. Yep. She said whether we went back and adopted him or if someone else did, she wanted to make sure that he went to a loving home. And here he is, over 2 years later. Yep.
Yeah, and you just grow to love them and love them and love them, you know.
Absolutely.
And the years go by so fast. And,
Oh,
dear
yeah.
heavens, look at the face.
They do. They just fill in all the little cracks, right, of the family. They just love on everyone, and
They really do. And I think about how different our lives would have been down in Texas without him. Like, he got us out going to places. One of the bridesmaids in our wedding I met at the dog park, and our dogs are best friends. So I'm like, I would never have met you if I didn't have a dog. And just every experience there is just
that's what they're
enhanced.
made
So,
for.
absolutely.
Hello, sweetheart. You can come over here with Aunt Susie. I hold you. He's a baby.
there you go,
He's a
Play-Doh.
baby. Yeah.
Just a baby. You're a sweet boy.
There's just, there's no words. I love you. I
Little
do.
angels.
And he knows that I love him.
He does. Huh.
Yeah. We had a little dog, and his name was Guru.
Guru. That's cute.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, well, he used to sit up on the back of the couch. So the kids, that was back in the 60s. That's when the guru crap was going on. And so they said, there he is, Mom. He's a guru. So there you go.
Perfect.
And then we had another one we got when my son was a year old, and we brought him home. It was Halloween night, and my dad was watching. He was covered with chocolate. So we set the puppy down on the floor. Well, he just went right over, just started licking him. And my son was about a year and some months old, and he just fell backwards laughing.
Aww.
And the dog. And he named him Jeep. He kept saying, Jeep, 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 Jeep.
That's
So
cute.
that was his name, was
Jeep.
Jeep.
Cheap.
I marvel on how they get their names. You know, it's really crazy.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Very, very true.
Look at him looking.
We don't have a Fido or a Bruiser. We have a Larry and a Play-Doh.
Yeah,
So
that-
there we go. It's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We like people names
We do.
because they are our peoples, right?
Please. Yes, they are.
Mm-hmm.
People don't understand. Well, they're getting better. Way back when I was a kid, it was just a dog. But they are getting better now, realizing how intelligent they are.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
They don't, look at him looking. What are you talking? Look at his eyes. What's she talking about? I ain't saying
about me?
nothing.
Sit.
You talking about me? Come on. Come here.
There you go.
Larry just sits there.
Sit. Good
But
boy.
it's funny.
Did they get together right away? Did they like each other right away?
They did.
They did.
Yeah, which we were a little bit nervous about because Larry can be territorial.
Yeah.
But I think it probably happened because Plato was in the house before Larry was there, so his smell was likely everywhere. So he
Oh, okay.
knew, like, okay, this person's all right. They've been here before. But no, they really do. They're funny. Larry will get, they call them the Oogie Boogies, the Zoomies, all over the place. And Plato will just be, like, pouncing behind him, like, going
Aw.
along with it. So they're each other's little cheerleader. And if one of them starts barking, the other one will be like, hey, what are you looking at?
Yeah.
And go up and
What's
bark
the
too.
nicknames that you have for them?
Oh goodness, Platerade. Oh my gosh, what other? I'd call him anything under the sun.
Larry is the Oogie Boogie Doogie.
Oh, God.
And I work in a school, and we had put your favorite thing on a T-shirt day. So I have a T-shirt that says Larry, the Oogie Boogie Doogie.
Aw.
Oogie boogie doogie.
Oogie Boogie Doogie, and my precious angel, huh?
Yeah, that's it. I had one that was God's little angel, heaven's little teardrop.
Aw.
Are you heaven's little teardrop?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can be heaven's
bug.
little.
Oh, the
Stink.
names
Stink. Stinker Bink. I call you everything, and you answer to all of them. Hey, bud.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah,
Pico.
they know their nicknames. They do. I think they
Pico.
know them better.
Platerade.
They
What are you
do.
doing?
He's so good. He says, "I good boy." Yeah.
That
come
little
on,
tail
say
wag.
hi. Oh, I have to. He says. Oh,
does.
come on
Oh, I
back.
must.
he
He's gonna
says.
rub on you. He rubs on people like cats too. When he loves you, he'll just snuggle up. Huh.
Yeah,
Do they get in bed with you? Do you let them sleep in? Absolutely.
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to sleep in the bed because
Oh,
there's a lot of dog in it. So, but
how
yeah,
sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
they do. Larry likes to sleep in any points. It just depends what day it is. But we fight most when he wants to be on my pillow.
Oh,
So yeah.
yeah. Isn't it amazing how they just, when you're sleeping, they push on you just right, and you move,
Mm-hmm.
then you move, and then finally your leg is hanging over, and you wake up and go, "For God's sake!" And they look at you, "What? What?"
This is my bed.
Yeah, this is
My
my
bed.
Yeah, it's
bed.
super cute when we wake up and they're snuggling each other.
Yes.
Aw.
They
And-
won't snuggle while we're watching them.
Yeah.
But when we're asleep, 'cause they have to be real cool.
Yeah, well, they don't want you to be jealous.
Right? They're like,
Exactly.
can't let them know that we're snuggling right now.
Or they, well, one time they both got in the same dog bed and snuggled in the dog bed.
Ah.
So
Yeah, but they get in all slow to not disturb the other one. Like, if I just move really slow. So it's always funny to watch them. Huh? You got a lot of
It's ju-
personality.
They're just fun. They really are just fun
they
to
are.
love. And if you get a bigger dog, you have to know you're getting a bigger dog.
Uh-huh.
You know, so
More to love. I know.
yeah, but the tugging and the pulling and teaching, and that takes time, and you have to be patient.
Yes,
And
you
people
do.
don't want to be patient. Why would we be patient?
Well, I say about the dogs the same thing I said about, raising children. When people say things or that compliment me, I'd say you only get out of them what you put into them. So it's
true.
really teaching them what your expectations are and learning what their needs like. What are their clues when they need to go outside? If you don't want them making a mess in the house, there are clues. You just need to watch, like,
A hawk.
what they do.
I think when they're puppies, they will go to the door to go outside, but the people are in the kitchen doing this or what. When you bring a puppy home, that is focus because they will go to the door to go outside. You're just doing something else and you don't pay attention, and then you lose that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when Larry was littler. He's 9 pounds now, and we got him. He was about 2,
Ah.
2.5, well, maybe 3. I don't know, but he was tiny. He was bell trained when he was younger. So we had a little like deli bell or you know, a school bell that you put on there, and I had it by the front door. And if I was in the kitchen, he would go over and ring the bell, and then I'd let him out.
See,
But
smart.
since he's matured and you know now he just comes and sits and looks at me, and I know. So, so
It's like,
It's
come on,
time.
Mom, it's time.
and we have
What
to
do
go.
they
outs-
do when they see a kitty?
Larry doesn't seem to care. He's more offended by squirrels, and yeah, squirrels and birds. Larry chases birds.
What's the man on?
I think he has to go potty. I
Have
know.
a go potty?
Yep.
You wait for a minute, okay?
Just a couple more minutes, Bubba. You'd be so good. Bubba, that's another name. I'm like, what else do I call you?
Yeah.
Everything.
So what about the squirrels?
They're assassins. He goes after he will viciously try. And birds, when they fly in the morning, I go to work very early, and he's out at 5 a.m. and he's barking at birds flying. It's like Larry. So yeah, but cats he doesn't. He's been the neighbor up the street has a cat that roams, and
Yeah.
he doesn't seem to be bothered by them.
He's not threatened.
No, not at all. They could be friends. They're furry. Other dogs, he barks at them when he's on the lead, but if I let them sniff, he's usually pretty good. He can be snappy though. He's a little.
They are.
Napoleon.
He is
They are.
Napoleon. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what does your husband think of him? Does he love him?
Oh, absolutely.
Kiss
He
and
loves
hug
him. He does. His daddy's. He will take him to the DP. And sit there with him for a couple hours. Like if I go, it's like a half an hour. I can't. My patience isn't there, but I'll stay for a half hour, 45 minutes. But he'll be there 2 hours. He was having so much fun, and he was playing with. So it's been good to meet. Like Mariah said, meet a lot of people. We have a lot of friends at the dog park, and you know what time they're there, and you get to know the personalities of the other dogs. Like
Isn't that nice?
Absolutely.
Yes, it is.
so you know what time fits for you. Like we don't usually go at 10 a.m. because there's someone there that we don't necessarily care for.
Well,
So I just don't take them
you
at
have
10.
to keep him safe.
Yeah, absolutely. Come.
Look at his eyes.
He's
Oh,
like,
God.
oh, come on.
They roll around.
Uh-huh.
Love it.
He has some sass. He has some serious sass. That's for sure. I know.
Oh, look at the look. Boring.
I know.
Come on. Got me in this room.
What's Larry doing? Sleeping?
Larry's just laying there.
See
He's
how good he is?
relaxing. His belly has to be full because that was a lot of treats.
Right.
So
And they're not begging for treats anymore. They're
Yeah,
like,
they're
we're
not.
full. We're done.
they're done. So
We're done. You good boys.
Well, I hate to say we got to go.
well, thanks for having us.
Thank you for thinking of Let's Talk Tail Waggers and coming.
Absolutely.
Because people that come and sit and talk about dogs, you don't know how that might really make someone change their mind about a
Absolutely.
dog.
Well, like I said, I was sworn we were one and done. We had our dog. He passed away right at the beginning of COVID, and I was done. Done. I loved Play-Doh, but I was still done because I didn't want to have anything tethering me to home.
Yes.
When my daughter lived in
was
San
there.
Antonio. But Larry has flown to Texas 3 times. So he has. And so, yeah, I mean, you just got to have to open that part of your heart because, like my dad always said, the ice cream fills in the cracks after dinner in your belly. And I
Yeah.
just think dogs just fill in those cracks of your heart and you just don't know it till you let them in. Huh? Come see Grandma.
Well, if there's anyone out there that would like to come up and talk about their puppy or their dog, you're always welcome to call the station and we'll fix up an appointment because they're important.
Absolutely, they are.
You know, they really are important. And kitty cats are too, but they're different. They're just different. And he says, I have to go potty, guys.
I know. Thank you for being so patient and telling
Yes,
us that
he's
you need
been
to go.
good.
Come
It's been a good boy.
Come say
No,
bye.
he wants to go outside, go potty, he says. Look.
He's like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Want to say bye?
Well, like always,
Come on. Good boy.
remember your Humane Society. It's so important, and especially in this heat If you have anything you can send on to help them, they really do need help. They always do. So I want to say I love you.
Ow.
God bless you. And thanks from all the tail waggers.